As the story goes, you end up in New York studying at Columbia University before you go to Chicago.
Right.
And there's a quick line that for many would just skate by, but you said that you bounced around in a couple of ill-fitting jobs in New York.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what those jobs were. Is the former president delivering pizzas on the weekend, or what were these jobs?
Listen, I had all kinds of jobs in New York, and I had all kinds of living arrangements in New York.
Yeah.
Because this is the early '80s, and New York had just come out of bankruptcy, and it was just starting to become what we now know of as New York. So Times Square is still rough. And there are big chunks of the city that are still torn up. But you're starting to see rents going up, and I was broke. I'm a student, and so I'm living in sublets that, you find out that the person subletting it to you doesn't actually have the lease. And you have to go down to housing court, and you've lost your deposit. There was one place where I was staying where the guy was actually doing construction in the room right next to where I was, so rubble's kind of spilling into your living space. And I did construction work. I remember the New York firefighters. They had to do something with their medical records, and there was a big refiling job, and I was doing that. And then I worked for a magazine for a while. There was a business magazine, and then I left because I knew that what I wanted to do was really change the world and be part of a broader movement for social change. But even then, I was kind of bouncing around trying different things until this group of churches in Chicago called me up and said, look, we're setting up a community organization. Do you want to drive out here? And I drove out there sight unseen, and that's really where I started growing up, learning how I might be able to have an impact.
Yeah, they scooped you up for a calm